Portland is one of the whitest cities in the United States of America, and that's a fact. And it also has a history of excluding all sorts of people, particularly around racial differences and ethnic differences. And so, acknowledging that was an important first step. I think one of the challenges in public libraries is that fact that they are allegedly open and free to all. And I don't think we've always walked that talk.
We're always trying to figure out who are we missing, who are we not quite there with, and how do we understand better how we serve the communities that we're not where we need to be.
Sonia came to us in 2016. She is our first official equity and inclusion manager.
We've got a pretty diverse patron base, given that Portland and Oregon, the county, is a very white county. Our staff are probably, I believe it's close to about 30% folks of color in terms of our demographics of staff, which for Portland and Portland area is actually quite good.
The best part of my job is just seeing the patrons come in looking happy, especially patrons of color when they see a man of color and they give me like a fist or a pound, or just they brighten up when they see me. And they say things like, I didn't know someone like you could be a librarian. So it gives me pride to know that I'm representing for my community.
It's really about how do we make it, whoever wants to come into the library, whoever wants to work here, feels that they can and they're welcomed and they're a part of.
The group we formed is called the Black Cultural Library Advocates. We come together, we do outreach and programming together, and we just come up with creative ways to serve the Black community. So our function is just to be a voice and an identity for the Black community in Portland.
It's important to have an internal group like the BCLA because otherwise we don't have representation. We don't have a voice. We don't know how to move things forward. Because how would we know? Like, how as a system would we know what the community needs and what staff need if we don't have people to help guide us on that? Very often we hear, oh, we need diversity. We need to diversify. My opinion is that's the worst thing you can do, because if you diversify and you bring people into an organization and a system that is not inclusive and is not equitable, you either will not keep folks or you'll have really unhappy staff.
I'm a neighborhood libraries director, and that means that I supervise the managers of 10 different library locations all over the county. I also support and lead the We Speak Your Language team, which is our team of over 80 bilingual staff throughout different library locations that serves immigrant and refugee communities.
I help patrons use technologies, answer reference questions. I connect immigrant and refugees community to current information and resources they need to help them be successful citizens.
To me, they're the foundation. If you don't have the staff, you can't do anything. And so they bring their passions, their skills, and their commitment to serving their communities, their knowledge. And so it's fundamental to what we do.
And we know that it has increased the use of our collection and our programming because people are able to actually appreciate and enjoy it in their own languages, and it's reflective of their culture. So it's been a huge success.
所以我生活好豐富、好充實，你哋照顧咗好多嘅充實嘅，使到生活咧非常有意義。
And Miss Tang feel that her life living is getting easy because we help her a lot. We, like a bridge, open her eye to the digital world. As we know, the library means free access for everyone. There are no language barrier in the library. We have staff to speak different native language, so patrons feel respected and welcome. They don't need to feel afraid, even though they didn't speak English.
When we talk about digital equity, we talk about not just access to broadband, but access to devices and the equipment, as well as the training and the knowledge in order to use it in a way that's best for you.
One of the best examples of our digital inclusion work in the community is the Welcome to Computers program. This is a series of 4 classes that we're able to provide a cohort of about 12 folks Often we work with, in the past we've worked with a public housing agency to identify a group of people who really want this training, who really need computers and internet access. So we do these 4 classes on computer literacy, and then the 4th class, or the 5th class, they get their own computer.
Libraries are a very trusted institution in their communities, and there's good reason for that. And to me, focusing on equity and inclusion spreads and enriches that trust, because it means that everyone has that access and that experience. And that's why we are focusing on that, and that's where we're trying to go. We're not there yet, but we've got, we're underway.